Coming up on The Returned.
And I woke up in another place, woke up in the dark. I thought I'm astral traveling or astral projecting, thought I'll just go back to sleep and wake up. And I did that. And I still ended up in this dark place. So I tried again and I tried again to wake up, and I didn't. I was in this dark place and I thought, this has never happened before. I've never been stuck before.
Hi, and welcome to The Returned. Here's to everything we'll discover together. Hi, and welcome to The Returned, a place where we share near-death stories, out-of-body experiences, spiritual awakenings, signs from spirit, and the journeys of healers and light workers from around the world. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and share to make sure you don't miss out on an episode. Today, I am honored to sit with Coralie Mitchell. She has had a profound out-of-body experience, one that's changed the way she sees life, consciousness, and reality itself. I know her story is going to inspire you and spark some big questions, so let's dive in and hear what she's discovered. Coralie, welcome to The Returned.
Hi, Melina. Thank you for having me.
Hi. Yeah, you're welcome. So, Coralie, before we dive into the heart of your story, would you be able to walk us through moments maybe leading up and tell us a little bit about what was happening in your life at the time?
Well, it was back in 2011, and in the year previous, I had two little boys that were about 1 year old, and they were found to have a rare disease, and one had paresis, so he couldn't move from the neck down. And it was an emergency situation, and we took Michael to the hospital, and he had surgery to relieve pressure in the spine. And then a week later, I found out that his twin brother also had this rare disease. So there was about 3 or 4 months of very intense hospital visits regularly every week. And Michael didn't start walking till later, but before that happened, I took 70 complaints to my hospital because I was unhappy about the way they treated us. They had said that they would only perform life-saving surgery if they took the babies out of my care. So I wrote a complaint form to the hospital, and it took about a week to do, and it was very stressful. And I had the health ombudsman organised to come in with me to a meeting with the hospital. And the night before, I stayed up till 5 a.m. preparing this document. And I finally got it finished, and I went to bed knowing that I only had 2 hours to get some sleep and then address the problems that were happening. So I went to sleep, and I woke up in another place. I woke up in the dark at first, and I didn't know where I was. And I thought, well, maybe I'm astral traveling or astral projecting, and maybe I'm in my own room. So I thought, based on previous experiences, I'll just go back to sleep and wake up. And I did that, and I still ended up in this dark place. So I tried again, and I tried again, and I tried again. And I think I tried 10 times to wake up back home, and I didn't. I was in this dark place, and I thought, well, I've got to find out where I am. you know, and this has never happened before. I've never been stuck before. And I instinctively knew there was a window to my left, and I could see it wasn't so dark anymore. There was a glint coming off around the room. I knew that there was kind of like shelving, maybe metal or white shelving around the room. That's the feeling I got. And I stood in the room. There was a bed there. I stood next to the bed and I took a deep breath and I thought, okay, I'm going to have to leave the room. And I thought, how can I be here? How can I be here and stay here? And I instinctively decided to jump. And when I jumped, I felt a pressure ball, like I was in a bubble. And I thought, hold up. What is this? I'm protected in a kind of pressure bubble. And I thought, all right, if I'm in a bubble, I couldn't feel the sides of the bubble, but I could feel the pressure kind of bounce off them. And I thought, if I'm protected, I'm going to go out. So I made my way instinctively to a door on my right, and I opened it. And it was lit outside, golden light. But all I saw was a wall of rock. And it wasn't smooth rock. It was like kind of a textured rock. And there was a path, a corridor. So I was kind of at a T-junction. And the corridor went down and up that way. So it was like on a slant. And so I walked down the corridor and I'm walking down this tunnel of rock, and there's this light. I don't know where the light's coming from. And I see below me a crowd of humans, of people. And the humans were very confused. It's like they couldn't see where they were. And they were just looking like they were just really like, what is going on? They couldn't understand where they were or what was happening. It was almost like they were blind in a way, but there was a being in the middle of them, and he was looking straight at me. He had blonde hair. He had blue eyes, the most striking blue eyes I've ever seen. And it was short hair, and he was standing above them by about 1 to 2 feet. He was very tall, and he was just looking straight at me, like with the most focused gaze. It was quite intimidating. And you can imagine at this time, I'm thinking, I need to get back to Andrew and Michael. You know, that was my main priority. Saving their life was all I had on my mind. And I looked at this man and I was like, I can't be here. I can't be here. And now this is weird. I happened to look at my left and I got an offer. I got an offer of an experience, and it was, there was a door, like a wooden door. And through it, I could see 2 people I knew. But this wasn't just any experience. It was a sexual experience. They were holding each other and they were inviting me in to have this experience with them. And they just happened to be 2 people I knew. But I wasn't interested because I was married. I had met a man. I wasn't married yet. I was about to marry him. And so I looked at these 2 people that I knew, but I knew it wasn't them. I knew it was someone pretending to be them. And I was like, I looked back at the blonde blue-eyed man. And I said, I have to get back to Andrew and Michael. Like, I stated it. I'm going back to Andrew and Michael. They need me. And I was determined. Like, nothing was going to distract me from my mission. And so I turned around and I went back that way. I went up the corridor and I thought, yes, I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving here. So I walk up to the end and there is a wooden door. And I open it and I just saw space. It was just space and stars. There were stars. And I thought, oh my God, Earth's not here. I can't see any planet. I can't see Earth. I can only see stars. And they were very far away. They were very far away. And I was like, okay, I'm in a pickle. But how do I get home? And I thought, well, my only option is to ask God for help. And so I took a deep breath and I said, God, I submit to you and I surrender to you. Please take me home. I surrender to you. I think I said, do what you will. And my feet began to lift up and raise in front of me. My body became straight as an arrow. And then it began to move forward. By that time, I closed my eyes because I was scared. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So I've got my eyes closed and I'm shooting through space. But it went on and on and on. It did not stop. I could feel the momentum. You know, I knew that I was flying through space. And then after what seemed like a very long time, it was probably about a minute, I gained a little courage and I thought, okay, I'm going to open my eyes. And when I opened them, I couldn't believe it. I was in a tube. I was in a blue tube. I was in a wormhole that was the size of my body. So it was like, it was probably about, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but this wide. And it surrounded my body. And I could see it curving. It curved. So I was going in a circular pattern. And now here's a really weird thing. So on my left was this strange structure. It was like a cross between ectoplasm and bone. It was white. It was like a building that hadn't got the architecture right. It was like an idea, but it didn't have enough time to build the idea. It was, if I could say the size, it was probably maybe 10 kilometers long and probably like 40 floors high. Like it was one of the tallest buildings that I've got in my city. It was about that size, but it was very long and it had gaps in it where windows would be, but it's like it hadn't formed properly. And as I'm speeding through this tube, I'm just looking at it and it had the most creepiest feeling. It was like there was also kind of mist around the bottom of it. So I couldn't see where it ended. But I could see where it ended on top, but not the bottom, sorry. I couldn't see where it like ended down there. And I felt like there were people in there. I felt like there were windows there that I couldn't see and there were people that I couldn't see. and they were watching me, and it's like, that creepy feeling you get when you're at home alone.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
and after I got past it to the end of it, I was like, oh, I'm just going to close my eyes now because that was just too weird. So I closed my eyes and continued the journey, and it went on and on and on. And I was probably in that tube for probably around 10 minutes, probably 10 minutes. And then it stopped. I stopped flying. I stopped zooming. And I opened my eyes, but I could not. It was very dark. I knew I was at Earth. I knew I'd gotten to Earth, but it was very dark. And I knew that someone would see me. So I instinctively had to fly through many suburbs because I wasn't in my suburb. I was at an old house I used to live at previously. So I flew to my new house in the dark. By that point, I was just like a floundering, I'm like, I gotta get home and make it home safely, And then I woke up in bed, awake, and I couldn't believe it. And it was 7:30. So I'd only been asleep for 2 hours. I felt good. I felt pretty good. I caught a taxi to hospital and I had a meeting. And the ombudsman that joined me said he didn't have to do anything. He was like, wow, you did so great in your meeting and got everything you needed across. And what a great job. But I think I wouldn't have done as well if I hadn't gone through that crazy experience.
Mm-hmm.
And what is interesting is that about 4 years later, I met a man and he had painted the wormhole. He had painted the wormhole and the white unformed building or whatever that was, the structure. It was in the painting and it was beautiful. He painted the entrance that I didn't see, the exit I didn't see, with the white structure. And so when I came out of the wormhole and I felt like someone was going to see me, I had just missed him. I had left before he could see me come out of it, because he was also a shamanistic type astral traveler. And he had painted me in another picture as well, where I was in that picture, and that was an experience. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. And is that the end of your experience?
Yeah, that's the end of that experience.
So I know this since we were talking before, and you've never told this story in 14 years. And I understand the reasons why and everything, dealing with children and all of that is hard. But what made you want to share it now?
Well, I'm writing a book called A New Way, and I want to put my experiences in the book because I've been having them since I was 19, astral travels.
Oh, have you?
Yes. And they were very regular. Out-of-body experiences were very regular, and they haven't stopped. I still have them. So, and pretty much weekly, I will have one, or even daily.
Just spontaneously?
Well, usually I dream and go to heaven, higher levels, and then I will come back and have experiences. or I will have experiences there in the heaven levels. But I've had
Can you
experiences.
tell us about that? That's interesting.
Well, there's many rooms in heaven. As in rooms, it's actually lands. There's many lands in heaven where there are schools in certain lands, or there is homes in another land. Human heaven. I have my own home there. I have my own home. I have little puppies there, and I have a family there. And then you have your other dimensions, which are to do with elementals, and they don't like humans. When I've seen them, I wasn't allowed to meet them. I had to stand back. And I said, why? And you always have a partner to journey with. There's always someone around. And the man told me, oh, they don't like humans. And I understand why, because we're very impulsive. If we see something, we want it. We want to claim it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially me, I want to hug everything. So I'm learning not to be so impetuous. But they were actually the elementals I'm talking about were actually connected to my children, because Michael and Andrew that have the rare disease have dwarfism. But these were before I had Mike and Andrew, these elemental beings, and they were little people. They were dwarves that look after the meadows. They even had their own little wheelbarrows. They had rakes. Yeah, and they were absolutely gorgeous. And this man just said, come sit here on a hay bale and watch them. And it was after that I conceived Michael and Andrew. But yeah, I wasn't allowed to go to them. I got up because I wanted to go to them, but no, I wasn't allowed to, because they do not trust humans because of the way we are. We are allowed to view.
Is that one of your sons? Oh,
That's
he's
my
trying to
oldest.
hide. Nice. That's okay.
So
I seen something moving and I'm like, what is that?
That's Charlie. He actually visited
Charlie.
me
Hello,
when I
Charlie.
was 21 and saved my life. That was 5 years before he was born. He visits me as this age and saves my life.
What?
Yes.
Okay, so we got to go way back, because this is your one incredible lady. So let's start again. Sorry, everybody in the audience, but I want to know, when did all of these experiences start for you? Like, what age were you?
Well, there was a situation when I was a baby. The nanny saw me playing with little dwarfs in my garden, and she couldn't believe it. And she told her son, and I only found this out probably about 20 years ago. I only found this out 20 years ago from my mum. She told her son, and he put her away. So I didn't even know this. So I had a connection to these elementals as a baby. And as a baby, I also remember looking into the sky. I was probably about 1.5, 2. And I saw that it was a bubble, that we lived in an orb, in a bubble, in a dome. And a voice came over me and said, don't worry, it's only a little while. I'm only going to be here a little while. And that comforted me. I was like, okay, it's not going to be long.
So you literally would look up at the sky and you would see us living like the Earth living in a dome?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes. I was like,
interesting.
I wasn't used to that. It was like I wasn't used to that. And like, we don't have domes where I come from. We don't have bubble.
Yeah.
And when I was also short-sighted, and no one knew until I was 13. So I saw the world in a
What does
different
that
way.
mean?
It means
Short-sighted?
you can see close, but not far away.
Oh, okay.
So colors were very vivid to me. And we moved to a farm, and everything, because of my short-sightedness, everything was very fuzzy. So if I looked upon blue flowers, it looked like a lake.
Oh, wow.
So as a child, my environment wasn't the same as other people's. And it took time for me to understand what was in my environment, because I had to get quite close to it to kind of see. But what was standing out was ETs and a visitation by an angel. I was in a happy
Oh.
moment, and I was skipping, and this is when I'm about 6, and a lady walks into my area from about 10 meters away and just sits and watches me and smiles at me. And I was like, who's this lady and why would she be interested in me? And then my mum called me and she said, what are you doing? And I said, I was just, the lady was looking at me and I was just skipping in front of the lady. And my mum knew what it was because we didn't have a visitor that day. So she wanted to quiet me down a bit after that. Like, we're not gonna talk about it. But every night I would get kept up by strange lights outside my window, bright balls of light. We lived on a hill over a valley, and these balls of light would be lighting up the valley. And I was getting quite upset because I couldn't go to sleep with them shining lights in my window. And I had a twin sister as well. I had a twin sister.
Oh,
Yes, but
wow.
I do not remember if she saw the lights. I don't know if she saw the lights. I still have a twin sister. I just haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
And also when I was 6, I woke up in a dog's body on my farm. I astral projected, but I didn't fly in. I just woke up in it. I woke up in a dog. And the reason I know it was a dog is because I peed on a tree as a dog. And yes, and it was nighttime. And I ended up peeing my bed, actually. And that's how I woke up, because I peed my bed. And I said, Mum, I was a dog. I peed on the tree out there, so I know I was a boy dog. And then that was so weird for me that it just kind of ended there. Although I did practice astral traveling, and I used to swim in my room because I wasn't a very good swimmer. So I thought I'll get some practice, but it didn't hit till I was 19. And then it was bam. It was every day meeting spirits. The first time was a zombie, and I heard it to the right of me. And once upon a time, it might have been human, but it was in such pain and misery and agony. It was just moaning. And I knew about astral traveling, and I had been wishing for me to do it for so many years. But this particular time happened after I cleaned the house, and I was very physically tired. And then when I laid down, it was instant. I traveled through a colored dial, rotating like a chakra, and I got sucked through, and then it was there. And I thought at first it was my boyfriend, but it wasn't. He was on this side. He was on this side, so it wasn't him. And it sounded terrible. And I was scared. I froze and I was like, oh, wake up. And I forced myself awake. And I freaked out. I even walked down the street looking for someone to help me. I couldn't believe it happened. I was like, what was that? I, not in my wildest dreams would I think that a creature like that would actually be. I didn't get to look at it, thank God. I just heard it. But.
And you just instinctively knew that it was a zombie?
You could hear it. It sounded like a zombie. It sounded like a human who had gone through the ringer. It was groaning. It was moaning, but I could instinctively feel that it was human and it was walking past slowly. But then the most amazing thing happened. Probably a day later, I was asleep in bed. I decided to meditate, and I heard a cowbell ring, and I thought, okay, that's weird. And then I fell asleep, and I woke up to a little puppy at the end of my bed. I didn't know he was little yet, but a puppy, or a little dog. And he was whining. He was moaning too, but whining in a cute little puppy sound, like that. And I thought, oh, what? There's a puppy at my bed, a little dog. And my spirit did the most awesome glide I've never ever recreated this, but it like rose out of the bed and then it glided down onto the floor and I laid like this and I just waited for the dog to come to me and everything was black. I couldn't see anything. And then a little animal came and sniffed my nose. And then the sunshine came out. It turned to day around me, just in my bubble, a pocket. And this little puppy was a chihuahua, a white chihuahua. And he was so excited to see me. He was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And he was jumping around me. He was jumping in my lap. I was like trying to cuddle him, but he was so excited to see me. And then he noticed something wasn't right. And he was like, ruff. And he went to the edge of my little surrounding area and he did a little bark. And then he came back to me and I cuddled him, reassured him. I cuddled him into my arms. And then I rose off the floor and I gently glided back on the bed and I cuddled him into my heart. And then I went to sleep. Had a good sleep, woke up the next day and went, oh my gosh, I remember what happened. And the funny thing is, this is the funny thing. So that was back in 1999. Recently, when I went to visit heaven, I brought him out of my heart and I put him with my other dogs. And he was older, little scruffy. He had a bit of black on his nose. He was like he'd been in the dirt a little. But I delivered him to my house in heaven where I have two other puppies that are like golden retriever little puppies. But to actually go there and see him all right, because I went through hell in my life. I swear I went through hell. And that little puppy was there with me the whole time in my heart. And to deliver him there was, so special and amazing. And it made me sad because being with me had made him sooty. It had given him some soot, from my own heart.
I see, yeah. And so how did your son come to you?
So I was suicidal. for quite a while when I was younger. And it came to a head in it came to a head just after I turned 21. And I had made a decision that I was going to commit suicide in, say, 3 days. And I went to sleep, and in the morning around 5 a.m., I felt someone sitting on my bed, and I was out of my body, and I could see a man. I could see a man there. He was only 20, and he looked at me he looked at me like I couldn't see him, like I was asleep still. And then he took a deep breath and just looked out the window and sighed, and he was very sad. And I said, hello. And he, like the puppy, he looked at me and he was like, wow, you can see me. He was so excited. And he held spirit tends to be quite gentle when they hold you. He held me like arm to arm, and he was wearing the softest blue tracksuit, so soft and like the material, unlike anything I've ever felt, so gentle and soft. And he had long hair, brown hair. He had olive skin. He was beautiful. And he was so happy to see me. I couldn't believe it. He loved me. And I held onto him. We looked at each other and as oh, that's right. A higher self came in and talked to him and told him off, speaking another language that I've never heard of. I think it is an angel language, but she said something which felt like she was saying, what are you doing? You shouldn't be here. Don't do this. And he started to fade, and I held on to him. I really held on to him. I didn't want to leave him. So my consciousness threw me back into a past life to try and get him out of the picture. But I could still see his silhouette, even as my past life experience started with my mother. He was on my mind. I just wanted to go back and, who are you? Why are you sitting on my bed? So then I had an experience with my mum and my stepdad as they were my friends in a past life. And I just listened to my mum talk to me about a car and about a Rolls Royce, a fancy car. Her parents were going to get her. And I just sat there and listened. And then that ended. And then I woke up. I did still try and kill myself, though.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was that day or the next day. But halfway through, I had an idea. I thought, what if that love is here? What if that love is on Earth? And what if one day I meet it? Wouldn't it be worth it just to try and see if that love is here? And then I can hold on to it and I don't have to lose it.
Right.
I could meet it here. If it can meet me in spirit, surely it can meet me here. And what if that man is here? And then 7 years later, I give birth to Charles. And the moment I held him, I saw the man, the eyes, the man, and I went, this is the man that saves me. This is the man that saves me. Yeah. And
I got
even
goosebumps. Oh my goodness.
and the amazing thing is our light bodies are so beautiful, like, and so like us. They're like exact copies of us, but with no imperfections. It's amazing. It's amazing what this dimension.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, wow. I didn't even know I honestly, this is my honest, authentic, because I never knew the whole story, right? I only know the cold notes of your story. So I am so happy. This is incredible, your experiences. I could go on and on and on listening to you. Oh my goodness. Like,
I'm sure some people would like me to
interesting.
be quiet.
I doubt it. Not the right people. So I just wanted to get into a few questions if you're up for that.
Mm,
Um, and maybe there's more that you go into as we go along. But I was wondering, so let's just recap. So your whole entire life, you've experienced astral traveling,
yes, there was
right?
a little gap. There was a little gap when I was a
Yeah.
teen. Yeah.
And then you're still doing this currently to this day.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. And you also visit different realms, different lands, and heavens, and the heavens
Yes.
and
Yes.
dimensions, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if
No,
someone's tuning
no
in now,
whole,
they're knowing,
nothing is barred.
okay. So I want to ask you, do you think that we can all do this?
Yes.
Yes.
I've always thought
Why do
that.
you think that?
I think that because I've been where the worst is in terms of thinking, and I've turned it around, not myself, but with spirit's help. And everyone has spirit. And over time, I changed my belief systems. I also asked for it. I also
Hmm.
asked for it. But I changed the way that I think and what I believed in. I kept an open mind, and that opening expands the light body, the person's energy. And when the energy expands, there's like an engine inside, and that can achieve anything. That's what I believe, that anyone can do it
Wow.
if they
Hmm.
want to, because it's not always easy. As many good things that have happened, there has been what you'd call negative things, difficult things, hardship.
Of course.
To
Yeah.
go from high to low is very extremely different. In the high, you're floating, you're free. In the low, you're vibrating like a jackhammer
Yeah.
when you're traveling in between. So it is challenging, but it's rewarding. And for every what you might call a trial, you have a celebration, and you have friends, allies that join you, and they also don't they don't stay the same. They evolve with you.
Hmm.
The more that you expand and go expand this onion of layers, the more friends you make. You are not alone. And I really think that everyone has the ability to do this. And I think that that's where we're headed. I think that quantum intelligence is much more important than artificial
Hmm.
intelligence. And in
Hmm.
the last 3 years, I've realized that I have a quantum intelligence.
Can you explain what that is for the audience just before you go on? A quantum intelligence, what you think that is?
That's where the mind takes on the action of a computer. It can do calculations. It can move through files. And it is happening in the mind, in the hemispheres, but that that ability is also carried when you astral travel. So it is a part of your spirit, not the body.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I have had an experience where, a couple of experiences, where I have accessed codes using this intelligence, where I've actually inputted numbers, calculations into a crystal city, which is not far from me, on my highway. It's almost like a halfway point, like a measuring point, but it's made of tall crystal spires. And I have an office in there, and it is manned by a different kind of spirit. He's green and short, and he knows who I am, and I know who he is. But he doesn't have hair. He's not human. He's a different type of spirit. But that's where I first met.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's where I first met this quantum intelligence. And when so I went to the reception area. I climbed the spires. I just floated up, and then I went forward into this space. Mind you, my higher spirit's in control a lot of the time, and I just get to be there, play a role, but it really is just showing me what it does, and it's kind of automatic. So I pass the reception area, but a code appears, and it's done with this part of my spirit, with the top. I can feel this part working to write the code and gain access through this room. And then I went up another level, and in there I had a room, and in front of me appeared a very clear, like an iPad, but see-through, a screen. And on it, I did all these calculations, and it was about humans. It was about humans, but I didn't understand what the numbers meant. But my higher self, higher spirit did, and it came to a total, and it was something like 699,000, something of that number. It was a long number, but so I think that I may have been calculating something for my area to do with people or something, and that we're trying to get to a certain number. That was the impression I got. But you can
That's really interesting.
You can hear it calculating when it does the calculations. You can hear it in here when it's writing. So I know it's my spirit doing the calculations because I can hear it in my mind, my spirit mind, because I'm not in my body at that point, because this is 20 kilometers away.
Is that like 20? So 20 kilometers away in a different type of dimension or realm? Right?
Down the road. But it was it was down the road, but in another dimension down the road. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Interesting.
I had gotten near it before, but what happened was you meet your fear at the boundary. And in a previous dream where I'd gotten near it, I had gone into a toilet instead of just continuing on. Like I'd got to the boundary and the dream played out, and it was just a lucid dream. And I kind of had fears, like someone came in the toilet. I never knew who they were, but I was afraid or whatever. But then, so we tried. It must have happened a year later. We tried again. And this time I went through the boundary. I was in a car going down the freeway, and instead of continuing on the freeway, we veered off and we went a secret way next to the freeway. And I went through a thick boundary, and you can feel the boundary. It's like a dense frequency that you move through. And I was like, oh, we've made it through the boundary. That's good. And then in front of me was an amazing blue, light purple, pink city with spires but columns that were only this wide. It was so bizarre. And it was shining, the sun was out, it was glowing, and yeah, that's what I traveled up to get to these
How
offices.
do you get to this stage? Do you do meditation? Is it just starting with
No.
meditation or
Yeah.
sleeping or
It first started with meditation. Yes. Um,
Mhm.
but the first time I meditated, I got an image straight away. It got very close up, and it was my son, Charlie. It was his face,
Mm.
but I was so scared. I was so scared. I thought I'd seen the devil because it was dark. You know, there was no light
Mhm.
in the picture. It was just a face like, bam, looking at me. So I had to face
I
my
get that
fear.
all the time. Every time I close my eyes, there's people.
Oh, yeah. So I,
And
yeah, I
it
didn't know
comes
how to
really
face.
close sometimes.
Yes, they can do that. Yes.
Yeah,
And
it scares you out like so when it's dark and then like just to give the audience an idea of what I actually experienced and what it feels like is like when I go to bed and close just the minute I close my eyes, I can start feeling like not feeling but seeing like something with my eyes closed that would be like around this area in
um,
my vision and it
mm,
kind of lightens up. I don't know if it's like haze or if it's like uh, color, but sometimes I see like gold, like really sparkly gold. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, just boom, there's someone like right there, like right there. And
yes.
sometimes I'll hold. Is that what it would feel like for you?
Yes, that is what it was like. Yes. But now
Okay.
they're actual like yours. They're people. But back then it was just
Mhm.
like a picture that kind of like woof.
Yeah.
But now they're people, and I understand what you mean. And even after um it's been 30 years I've been doing this, it still takes me by surprise.
I used to be scared too, but I don't get scared of it anymore. I'm just like, okay, well,
Mm.
I don't know what you want. You're
You
not
don't
saying
get
anything to
Yeah.
me.
You don't get jump scared after a period of
Not
time.
anymore. Yeah. But I
And
was.
so what I do is switch from here to there. So
Okay.
you're meditating, and then you will be in a different space, in a different level. You won't be
Do
hearing.
you feel it? Like, does it
No,
come feel something in your body or does it
no, there's no
no?
feeling. All you will get
Okay.
is the vision and the action of the other person. So 2 nights ago, someone was feeding me grapes, or last week I was in heaven eating, and food was being passed across from me. Um, it was a celebration of something that I had done, I had faced spiritually. Um, but you're in Toltec sorcery, it's described as switching from here to there. And
Okay.
all you're doing is moving the assemblage point, which is your perspective. So the physical body's not moving. You don't have to astral travel. You don't have to astral project. You're just moving. At the moment, my assemblage point is here. Normally it's lower, and that just moves. The assemblage point is your perspective, um, and a point of energy, but it's a physical perspective. To move from here to there, the assemblage point needs to move within this bubble.
Mm-hmm.
To get the assemblage point to move, meditation, meditation, meditation. So for the last 3 years,
Okay.
I've probably meditated about 3 hours a day. And
Oh.
yes, and that has brought many profound experiences. But um, even the greatest ones were when I wasn't meditating. But
Mm-hmm.
I had the intention to have a bigger life than was given to me. I had the intention
I
to
see.
explore. I'm an explorer. And one of the most disappointing things in my life was that there's nothing left to explore. And I don't like water. I don't want to go in the ocean.
That would be odd, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So it's
I don't know if that would feel so good.
there's a heart pull to experience new things. And I think that's what the secret is. And it also steers the spirit body. So if you are out of your body, you can use that intention of the heart, the wish to see what's beyond, and that will give you the engine to move.
So let's play skeptic for a second, because there's always going to be that out in the audience. If someone says, "Well, how do you know this isn't just a dream you're having? Maybe you're just having dreams."
Well,
What do you think the difference is between what's happening to you and dreams?
well, in a dream, you're not in control, really. You're not. You are with other
Mhm.
people, and you're like the dumb one. You're naive. You don't know what's going on. If you're lucky, you might ask questions, but by that point, you're lucid dreaming and you're starting to bring your mind into it, and you're starting to expand, and you're starting to get choice. In a dream, there's not really any choice. Plus,
Mhm.
when you touch something in a dream, your hand just kind of goes through it. There's nothing substantial there. But even in a lucid dream, there's not anything substantial there. But when you astral travel, it is like this life. It is real. It is solid. If you want to, you can move through the solid, and it feels packed more dense, a bit more denser than, say, you're walking through open air. So you can create a hologram in the astral yourself, but the
Mm.
objects are made of a denser energy. So you can feel boundary objects as you go through them. But if you choose to actually pick up a cup, it is a cup. If you choose to touch a person, it is a person. It is exactly the same in heaven as it is here. There is no difference. The only difference is the moment your mind switches on and starts measuring, that's when you drop. They
So
are
you've been to heaven.
yes.
And
Yes.
so you're saying it's the same as here. So can you just elaborate a bit on that and what you might see in heaven?
In heaven, well, there's my house, right?
And your puppies.
And the puppies. But normally you go there to make an agreement. So what you'll see is people in a house. You'll be in a house, and around a table of maybe 6, and your conscious mind will be able to step in and have a little taste. It's like having a taste.
Mhm.
There's more to the story going on, but that's for your higher self. But your conscious mind can be allowed to step in for a little bit and have the experience. So normally it is about agreements involving things going on in Earth. So if I'm going to help someone, or I am doing business agreements, any financial agreements, we have a meeting in heaven first with all the parties involved. And then I get the opportunity to be okay with it or to not be okay with it. Even when I wasn't
Mhm.
okay with it and I would pack up my bags and go, I would have a lovely experience on the way out, a mystical experience, such as flying through golden gates but it's almost like a test. It's like an explorer's test. It's like the hero's journey. So even when I've said no to something, I've been rewarded for standing up and saying, no,
Okay.
I don't agree with this. So these agreements aren't binding. And if you disagree, you're rewarded because you have the strength to stand up. So,
Hmm.
what else? Oh, you can have, as a human visiting heaven, you can have a romantic experience there as well. If you want to,
Hmm.
that is available to you. Even though in heaven they don't seem to do that, but you can have that there. Because for some people it's
Interesting.
easier to access there. You can't really access it here. And things feel stronger there. Your body,
Mhm.
even though your mind is not stronger, your heart and your body is more a part of it than the mind.
And does it look like? Does it look like Earth?
There is the last time I was there, I was actually walking on water, which is one of my wishes. I made that wish a while back,
Mhm.
and I was running on water, and I was in a bubble, what I call that conscious mind bubble.
Yeah.
And I was
Mhm.
scooting over the water, and I just had a meeting with someone that I'd met in the physical, and he was a pirate, and he lived on the edge of it's like, I would say river, but it's more like the lightest blue lake, ocean. It's very wide, and it's like the
Mhm.
Bahamas on a great day. Like, yeah, it's so nice. And that was the last time I was there. I was leaving the meeting, and Coralie's not allowed to be there during the meeting, but she can come in on the end, and then she can leave and have a little bit of fun on the way out. And
Mhm.
um, so that was the last time I was there, and it's very gold. It's the golden level. It's golden. I've not seen a sun there, but everything is sunny.
Is there structures,
Oh,
houses, buildings?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. There
Is
were
it more
people,
real than here?
more real than here. Um, well, I hug them. I have dinner with them. We dance together, and they send me back to this physical through these activities. So I get to have a little enjoyment. Um, it's just like Earth, except better. There were boats there on the water when I was running past. They must have thought they were all staring at me. Often they stare at me. They're like, what's this human doing? She's not even dead yet, and she's running around. But I've eaten chicken in one of these places. I've had food, and I finished dinner in heaven recently with a close friend. But Coralie comes in at the end of dinner because dinner was a meeting. But there was one time back
Mm.
in 99 that I moved to the country, and then I went to a very special school place with crystal powered school city, and that's where we had food together in the courtyard. But when you go to these places, you have an angel appear next to you, a guardian angel or a friend. You're not alone. You're never alone. There is always someone with you. It's just that
Mhm.
now they don't have to set me up with someone to hold my hand. As I was running over the water, I was like, wow, I'm alone doing this myself. Like, wow.
I am so like wowed. Like, wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I want to go back a little bit if you're okay with that. Um, what did I write here? So when you were talking about leaving and you've seen the golden light by the wall of rock. I think in your when you were astral traveling in the beginning. What do you think that golden light is that you see?
I think that was like emanating from me, possibly
Okay.
lighting up the area because there was no source for it. It's possibly coming from me,
Also, so maybe it was coming off of you.
possibly.
Did you see our creator or source or whatever you call it, or
I have
what do you think?
seen, I have seen things. Yeah.
And what do you think? What did you see?
Well,
Or what does our creator look like to you, say?
well, there's many different things. So the first one I saw in 2008 was pink mist with particles. And this was during an ET experience where I was given so much love, it sent me back to source. And I absolutely, when I was in this soup, it was like pink mist. And when I was in this soup of pink mist, there were like little stars all around me. And I lost Coralie. I wasn't me anymore. I became one with all of these thousands of beings that were little sparks. And I lost Coralie. To get me out of that space, they punched me in the back. The ETs. They did that. Now that's a way to move an assemblage point. You hit them. And then that brought me back, and then I had a further ET experience on a starship and had a healing. But that was the first time that I met my source family. I know that that's where I come from originally, but
Where is that?
that is way, way, way up there. It's not human. It's not human. It's
Okay.
it's even beyond bubbles. It's beyond structure. It is just, it's a collective that is like mist, pink mist.
What does it have a name, or do you have a name for it?
I would call it Sophia, maybe. That's what I would call it. If I
Okay.
was to give it a name,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I've come
Yeah.
close to even.
So are you saying that it is a alien or ET planet
No,
that you
I'm
might be
saying it's
from?
from its source energy. Alien
Okay.
and ET is much lower.
Okay. So
Alien
this is
ET,
higher.
yes. So
Okay.
heaven is higher. ET and galactic is more from the side and a bit lower.
Okay.
They are
Okay.
connected, but heaven is the band of man.
Okay.
Is where the humans go. But this particular pink source mist was very, very high up. And um, it was more that I was delivered that energy as well. So I was delivered that love, and then I went into that love, and then I lost myself. I became one with it. Like I came
Mm.
from that originally.
Mm.
So it was more like a gift that I was given to see where I come from. But I come from other places as well. God-wise, yeah, God-wise, he appears here as spotlights, one normally, but when the area is free and at one with him as a male influence. then it's many spotlights that will appear in the sky or appear around you, appear in your room. And then Jesus is the emanation of that.
Oh,
So that's the masculine God. But then you have a feminine, and that
okay.
she is the great mother. And I just adore her. She appeared to me when I was 23 and I forgot about it. And then she reappeared in 2018. And she told me to put down the fight. She said, "You do not have to be a warrior anymore. You are going to create." And she was sitting on a throne. And just as when I saw her when I was 23, I dropped to my knee. I just instantly, as soon as she appeared to me, I just dropped to one knee, and it was just absolute love. I was going to say allegiance. It's almost as if I was a warrior for her in the past, but this
Okay.
life, I'm not meant to fight. I'm not meant to be at odds, and I've had so much of that my whole life that she had to come and tell me, you're going to be creating. You're not going to be fighting systems or people anymore. We want you to have a good life. She was on a throne and she was surrounded by galactics.
Oh,
Not the
okay.
band of man. It wasn't human. She was surrounded by nature. She was in the forest. She had a lion on one side. She had other beings there, and animals were all around her. And she has appeared to me before as an eye and shown me how darkness gives contrast to light, so you can tell things apart. And
Wow, Coralie. Wow, Coralie. We might have to have a part two. Oh my goodness. This is incredible. I want to ask, how has all of this, actually, before we go to asking that, I actually would like to know why you? Why do you think you were chosen for these experiences? And what do you think they're for?
once I got told by someone that I believe in anything, that I will believe in anything.
Mhm.
And if you can believe, then you can make space for it, and then it can come. It can come. And I just love people, and I love this place, and I love animals, even though I've pretended that I didn't at times to others.
Yeah.
And I've been a hermit nearly, like, for a long time. I've been a hermit. um, and I'm very in tune with the collective. But why me?
Like, do you have a mission here? Do you feel like you have a mission here in this lifetime?
I have a mission to write my book. I have that mission. And
I
I
think you're going to be
also
writing many.
I also um I've been telling people about these things, since straight away. I didn't hold back. I'm very naive. I can be very foolish. And so I've always
Mm.
freely given information. I've never held back. And I never met a skeptic. What I did meet was people who say, okay, either you're absolutely full-blown crazy or you're onto something. That's all I got. So maybe it happened to me because I can't help but tell people, you
Mm.
know,
Mm.
I'm the one
That's a
who
good point.
speaks. Yeah. And I hardly met any
Yeah.
resistance.
Have you ever had people that you've told kind of go like, wow? Or have you lost friends or anything like that over this
I've
kind
lost
of
family. I've lost family
oh,
from it. Yeah.
yeah.
Even just for creating my own business, it was like, and I was a single mum as well. So, um, you're kind of looked at as being vulnerable. Maybe someone has to look after you and people don't want to do that. Or, also success is, measured by how much you earn and what degree you have.
Mm,
So,
right.
yeah, so I wasn't really seen as
Mm,
successful, by my
mm,
family for the experiences I had. But it was not their fault. I was hiding myself from them. They didn't really get to know me, so I don't hold it against them because I hid myself. And when I finally came out, when I blossomed and went, hey, I've, got my own website and this is happening to me, it would have been quite a shock for them to realize.
When you say that, I think what comes to mind when you say that, it reminds me of moving in silence. It reminds me of sometimes we don't need to tell everybody what we're doing,
Yeah.
especially if it might hinder what we want to do.
Yeah.
And there might be opinions that come in and all of that. I am a big advocate of moving in silence. I don't know, it really pardon me. It just really it's something that I truly believe in, and I'm glad you did it that way. And when you were ready, you came out. And this is me. And it also tells me that you were probably very confident with yourself to be able to finally break free from that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you were really standing in your truth.
Yeah, I
And
was.
that is very important.
Yes. Yes. But at the time I thought we could heal all ills. At the time. This was in
Mhm.
2008, and I thought I was on the cusp of DNA healing, and then I had twins with a rare disease, and that wiped the slate clean. Then I learned something new, that illness
Now
is
you're
a
going somewhere
perspective.
new.
Illness is a perspective, and that it's not meant to be healed some of the time. It's not meant to be healed half of the time. That it is God actually living a certain perspective that's so rare, it's worth the chance. And
Oh,
and
that's nice.
angels are doing it. Angels are coming down and they are doing these very, very special, rare perspectives. And it is precious. And the best we can do as society is look after them and show them love and care, because the rewards of loving and caring and even meeting them in public, the rewards are they can delete your karma. They can just wipe it
Really?
away. They wipe the slate clean. The light coming out of people who are suffering with illnesses or have a different perspective than you, they're not even suffering, some of them. Like, my children look like they're suffering because they have strange bones and strange limbs, but they're not
Oh.
suffering. They are just living their happy life. And when you meet them, these angels, they are just have all the love in the world to give you. Yeah, it's so
Oh, that gives me the goosebumps. Something fierce. Oh, wow. That's special.
yeah,
That's so special.
it is so special. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I wish for everyone to know that. Yeah, I wish for everyone to know that when people are different, it's just God having a different perspective. He's just doing something different.
Wow. I agree. I actually really agree with that. You are one special lady, let me tell you.
Thank you,
Wow.
Melina. Thank
You
you.
really, really, really are. I have to ask you one question. You've seen a lot of different things. Do you think humanity is waking up spiritually?
Yes, yes. I've been gauging the
Oh,
environmental goings on by people, and definitely people are waking up, especially the masculine now. The masculine is stepping
oh,
into their awareness. They're becoming curious. They're being gentler with people. I know that in Australia we have a domestic violence problem, but more men are becoming one with their emotions, and they're
ah.
expanding themselves. They're becoming more open. Um, I just find they're embracing their femininity. Um, I think women are doing the same. They're embracing their masculinity, their discernment. They're not afraid to step out alone. Um, I think that I think that with mobile phones and tech, that is having also a profound effect on us as well, that we are going quantum. People are saying their phones are following their thoughts. That is quantum energy. That's the quantum field. My phone is my tool. My phone can help me. My phone is an extension of me. It is like my friend. It can help me. And so we are extending ourselves now into our homes and our cars and our belongings, but we can put our energy in them, and everything is becoming a quantum relationship. And I think that people are now used to ghosts, they're used to aliens, they're believing, they're setting up the belief systems, but they don't quite know the mechanics of it. But it doesn't matter. Inevitably, it's going to happen. It's going
I
to
think so
happen.
too. You made some really good points there that actually just brought my mind out and thinking, yeah, we are expanding ourselves with technology. We have way like back in the day, and I can say that because I'm over 50, back in the day, we didn't have anything like that. They didn't have cell phones. We didn't have really barely any television. We were very limited. We
Yes.
were very limited,
But
weren't
the
we?
golden
So,
level was here. No, in the past,
oh,
we had the golden level. It was here. Even in Egypt, when Jesus was around, there was a lighter energy in the world. It is now that it has gotten darker. It has gotten denser.
yeah.
There are more thought forms in the ether that are weighing us down. So it's actually
Right.
necessary for us to expand to cope with the density, because it's much denser than it used to be.
I actually know that too. I actually do feel that. Um, I mean, I bet you can remember too when there was a time when we felt freer, but there's also a time now where I mean, we have so much knowledge at our fingertips that it's incredible. And
Yes.
well, I mean, it could be used for good and it can be used for bad. But if
Yeah.
you're using it for good, wow,
Yeah.
expanding, you're expanding yourself with all this information. We
Yeah.
weren't able to do that then because we had libraries
Mm.
and the public libraries where you would go to try to read. And there wasn't even a thing called NDE back then,
Mm.
so you could only limit yourself. So it's
Mm.
interesting. This subject, the way you speak really interests me.
Mm.
I'm going to have you back because I think you
Okay.
have way more to tell. And I think I might want you to be on my live because you're just so incredible.
Okay.
So I have two questions left um, that I really do want people to know. So, how do people connect with you and your work? How do they learn more about what you do? What do you do? And where can we or they find you online?
All right. So
That was a big mouthful.
I'm a QHHT practitioner, Dolores
Okay.
Cannon. So they can contact me on Facebook. It's Celestial QHHT. And I have a website. It's called Herbalm, herbalm.com.au, HERBALM. And I make plant products. And you can message me there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you are going to be writing a book, correct?
I am going to be writing a book. I've written a lot. In the last
I bet.
3 years, I've written a lot. Yeah. So I'm almost ready to put it together.
Do you channel spirit when you're writing, or is this book come from just your experience?
This book comes from Spirit Channel, yes,
Oh, cool.
as well
Okay.
as
So you're also a channel.
yes. So I won't be writing any personal information in the book. It just be channeled information and the experiences that I have. Yeah.
Oh, so interesting. Coralie, if you could share one message with everyone watching or listening today, something you wish the whole world would know, what would that be?
You are more than your physical body.
No. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Coralie.
You're welcome.
I can't even thank you enough. And you've been so open and generous with your story. Experiences like yours bring hope and understanding and a sense of wonder to so many people, including myself.
I'm so
You
glad.
you blew me away because I didn't know the whole story. It must have taken so much courage for you to speak so openly about something so personal as well. And I want to honor you for that.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very, very much for being here today.
Thank you so
And
much.
to everyone watching, you're welcome. And to everyone watching or listening, thank you for joining us for this episode. Let's remember that there's so much more to reality than what we see with our physical eyes. If this story resonated with you, let this be an invitation to explore your own consciousness gently and with curiosity. Remember, the journey inward and beyond can be profound and bring insight and healing. And until next time, stay open, stay curious, and keep returning to the truth within you.